Now, the police minister released the third quarter crime stats today. It covers the period from the 1st of October to the end of December. Just over 5,000 people were murdered in the second quarter, a decrease of over 300 from the previous quarter. For more analysis on this, gender activist research project consultant Lisa Vetten joins us now live. Thank you very much for joining us, Lisa. 12,000 rapes occurring in just 3 months during the month of 2020. This is shocking, and it just shows, like I was saying earlier, that South Africa can still be that country that is labelled unsafe for women and children.
It's unsafe for everybody. I think what is concerning is that one can't quite tell from the way the minister has worded the figures whether we're talking about an increase over the period of the previous quarter, or whether you're also talking about an increase over 2019's figures. Because I think if you look at the previous quarter, you can see that rape was still somewhat lower than it had been for the previous period in 2018. And it's important to be able to tell whether this increase is the result of lockdown restrictions easing and more women being able to come forward and to start reporting, or whether we're seeing an actual increase over the figures for the previous financial year. And if we're seeing the latter, then that really is very concerning, because it's telling us that all this heightened awareness, all these interventions don't necessarily seem to be having the desired effect. In fact, are we aggravating the problem, or is the increase due to increased reporting due to all the publicity and the greater awareness around the problem of rape?
Lisa, there's also, of course, the debate around what the lockdown period has done for people who are in, for instance, abusive relationships. And these statistics show that lockdown didn't really help, did it?
No, I think if you look at the period for the hard lockdown, you can see a dramatic drop in the number of domestic violence cases. But that's not because men were behaving nicely. That's because women couldn't get to the station to report. So I think as soon as the lockdown restrictions started easing, you see the numbers starting to increase. But again, what I found incredibly worrying is that if you look at the same period for 2018-19 financial year, you can actually see that in August, the number of crimes where you would expect domestic violence reported increase was actually higher than the same period for the previous year. And that is extremely concerning, because what it suggests is that if there were barriers to reporting, they were gone. But it does start to raise questions whether the kind of social and economic difficulties that emerged as a result of the lockdown had actually aggravated and made violence considerably worse. So I think the statistics point to areas where we need to be doing some hard questioning if we are to try and understand what's going on and to take effective steps to try and reduce these figures.
All right, thank you very much. Of course, Lisa Vetten is a gender violence activist. Still to